Hello. Thank you. Bye. Okay, so I wanted to go back to teaching, but not in the classroom. So today I'm going to share with you what I do as a teacher who works from home. And a lot of it is going to take place at my desk because I work from home and everything is done right over here. We've got a giant computer screen hooked up with my work laptop. Then I have my standing desk and I always keep it standing. Then I have my walking pad and a yoga ball in case I want to sit on it and lower the desk. I do have a regular desk over here. I just feel like I never know if I'll need it in the future. In terms of lighting, we've got our little lights that my husband changed to orange. This is our office where I spend many hours of my day here, and then my husband is my coworker, but he is working outside right now. Okay, let's get into it. For safety purposes, I won't share the school that I work at, but I will share what I do and what my role is called. So I am an educational facilitator. Someone from my church actually worked for this school, and she told me about it, and I was like, this sounds like a very interesting job. And at first I felt it's a lot of meetings. I'm not sure if that's what I want my life to be. It's been 1 year since I've worked here and I have 4,557 messages because when you work from home, you're communicating so much through email. When I was teaching at, they call it a brick and mortar, which is just in-person school, I had roughly 24 students. Right now, I have 26 students that are on my roster, and I am responsible for meeting with each one of the students. And I meet with them once a month and just making sure that they are on top of their schoolwork. Now, I always thought homeschooling meant the parent is teaching the child, or they have like a teacher come to their house and they teach the child. There's so many different types of homeschooling that I was not aware of until I came across this school. So there are public charter schools in California where the government does have funds to provide for families. We are a public school with an independent study program. So students are able to independently do their schoolwork from home or wherever they may be, and they can meet up in groups and do all of that too. But with that, you get an educational facilitator like me to oversee and make sure that the students are meeting California state standards. They range from kindergarten to high school. The thing that takes me the most amount of work is actually filling out their yearly lesson plan. It goes from August to June, and I'm basically mapping out the entire curriculum. So during my Zoom meetings with my students, I'm just checking in, seeing, okay, what lesson are you on as of now? Are you following the pacing guide I created for you? I'm also checking for understanding. So it's nice because it's all on Zoom. It's kind of like parent-teacher conferences, except it's really me checking in with the students, or the parents are talking to me, ensuring that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing and showing me what they've covered. When I was a classroom teacher, all my students had the same exact math book, same exact English program, and I would just have to map it out for the year. My homeschool families, they can all choose from hundreds of curriculum and they could all have a different variation. Our school does have some templates of some commonly used curriculums that's already mapped out for us, and I just copy paste. But there are some where I'm like, I've never heard of this curriculum. I need to go look, make sure it's meeting California state standards, and then I need to literally pace out the table of contents for the families. They need to be aware of how many lessons should I teach my student to get to where we need to go. It's a lot of planning, but I actually really enjoy that work. I love curriculum. I love looking through it, planning things out for people. Love it. I can actually just upload it to ChatGPT. I say like, I'm going to send you a picture with a list of lessons. Divide it into groups. Oh, see, I only want 9 groups total. So ChatGPT, I found that I've had to correct. Claude is actually pretty darn good. That's all I wanted. Thank you, Claude. So for our kinder through 8th graders, they have to do English, math, social studies, and science curriculum or classes. For high schoolers, they have to take at minimum 6 classes. I have students who are taking pre-algebra, while I have others who are taking geometry. It's just hard for me because I never taught high school. So I'm not teaching these students, but I do have the responsibility to input their classes and make sure that it's the correct one. There's like 8 through G requirements, you know, if you want to go to UC or Cal State, things like that, where I was like, this is a huge learning curve, but I did it and I got it. On top of them following the pacing guide, I also collect work samples from all my families. We need one per subject. They're turning in, an English assignment, a math assignment, and I'm just kind of assessing their work and their understanding. When I meet with them, I am looking at what other assignments did you do? Did you do any projects? Let me see it. But if you're going to sign up with a school and have a credentialed teacher assigned to you, you're going to do the work in the way that we want it. Requirements for this job is that you need to have a teaching credential. I cleared my credential 5 years ago, and then I recently renewed it for $100 something. We also do state testing, which is not fun to do virtually because the amount of tech issues that we had was so frustrating. I can't hear my audio, my microphone's not working, the camera's not working. It's a double-edged sword working from home. So a middle school curriculum that many of my families use is called Acellus. It gets the job done, but I highly recommend a lot of supplementing for my families who are in middle school who want to use this. Oh my gosh, it looks so dated. And then they have questions they answer and they check for understanding. Now, my personal opinion and the problem with online learning, you really want the student to also practice their fine motor skills. So they need to be cutting things, they need to be writing, and writing is a big one for online programs that we want to make sure that students are not only handwriting, but that they're writing essays. But math curriculums are also one of my favorite to look at. So you can tell that this is the job for me because I get so excited talking about math curriculums. One that I really recommend to all my families is called Singapore Math. I actually use this when I taught at a private school too. Look how fun it is. And it has the teacher's guide for families. Curriculum is expensive. So that's the other thing that I do. I place all the orders for my families. All kindergartners get a certain amount, first grade through 8th grade get a certain amount, and then high school gets a certain amount. I just have to make sure that the families are staying within their budget, and then I don't have to house it though. It gets shipped directly to their homes, making sure they're using it appropriately and they're using it on things that are approved by our school. They just can't be using curriculum that is sectarian or has any religious affiliation because we are a public school. But something else I've noticed is that a lot of our families who love to homeschool their kids, they may not really be aware of where their child is supposed to be at cognitively. I had a family who they told me, their child is not sitting still when they're reading to them. And I was like, well, how long are you reading? And then they were like, the entire story for like 10 minutes and the child keeps squirming around. And so I suggested ask questions after a page or two to check for understanding and to also re-engage your student. They can't sit there for 10 minutes straight just listening to someone. So it just kind of depends. Generation Genius is one that we really enjoy sharing with families. They have really fun videos. The scientist that's making these videos, they call him like a younger Bill Nye, and I grew up watching Bill Nye, so it's really exciting for me to go back and remember what it was like to watch these videos. In terms of organization, when I started working from home last year when I first got this job, I was like, oh, okay, like I can roll out of bed, be in my sweats and hop on the computer and do my work. But the to-do list never ends. There's so much for me to do. It's not possible for me to finish in one day, but I don't know where to stop. So I started putting a to-do list for myself on a monthly occasion. So I literally list out August, I need to do this, and I just list it out and I delete it as I complete it. Because there are things that I need to remember 3 months from now that I need to register the student for this class come December. Another feature that I recently learned is to snooze your emails. So sometimes I get emails on the weekend, but I need to remember this. There's a little snooze button and you can snooze it and it will come back to you. You can snooze it for later today, next week, 3 months from now, and it'll show up back at the top of your inbox in case you need to remember. When I was in the classroom, it really felt like I had to prepare for a presentation for 8 hours of the day. Now when I do teach, it's only for 30 minutes the entire week, and I get to enjoy it and I get to not feel burnt out from it. The meetings do get tiring for me because I'm introverted. So even though I'm in the comfort of my home, just having to lead a meeting can be exhausting for me. And then the rest of the month, I'm like organizing and planning. It's a good kind of hard. If my eyes get a little too tired and fatigued from staring at the screen, I will get these blue light glasses. I don't normally wear glasses. I feel like wearing glasses kind of pickles the inside between my eyes and my nose bridge, but I use Calendly and I share with my families when they can sign up. So on Calendly, I can literally put Mondays, I want to be open from this time to this time. Yeah, they can just choose a time to meet with me. I need a snacky. Okay, let's go somewhere else. I just got this yesterday. It is called Mellow Mellow. It is like a mango coconut tapioca dessert. I've shared this I think in a couple of videos, but I'm not vegan, but I like vegan things. My protein powders are usually vegan. I don't eat whey. Mellow Mellow. Oh, there's mango chunks in here. It's very sweet. Honestly, when I compare working from home and this job compared to the battlefield I was in the classroom, I am very thankful. This job definitely matches my personality a lot more. It just depends on your class. It depends on the support from your admin. And I think for me, I just felt tired all the time. Because also you have to factor in the time it takes you to get into work. So if we start school at 9, I have to be there around 8:15, which means I have to leave my house at 7:45, which means I have to go to an even earlier workout to make it happen. While now, if I have a meeting at 9, I can literally walk in at 8:55 and still go to my meeting right on time. Because what I appreciate about this school is that they're really big on making sure we're meeting the deadlines, making sure we're being responsible, but at what time you do your responsibilities, they really just let us be. Of course, if I have staff meetings or group meetings, we have to be there at a certain time. I try my best to cut off work at 5 p.m., but given the nature of the flexibility of this role, sometimes I do have to work later. But that's something I'm willing to do because I really want to make sure that the kids are being supported the way that they need to be. What makes a family want to homeschool their kids? It's a question I get asked a lot, actually. Some of my students are professional athletes. They travel for their competitions and they need to do school on the go, because in public schools, if you are absent too many times, then you'll actually be held back. So private schools aren't like that. And at private schools, I was expected to prepare a week's worth of work for my families who told me they're gonna go travel next week. But now my students can do it on the go. A big chunk of them though, which is really sad, is families who've experienced their child being bullied at whatever school is in their local area, or they're struggling with their mental health or anything like that. Another chunk is students with a learning disability who it's been very hard for them to be in a mainstream classroom. Now the other side is conservative parents or conservative Christians who really want to protect their child and ensure that they are being taught and mentored by their parents. And then I have families who are also scared of their child's safety. That's a really big one nowadays too. Again, not shaming anybody for whatever reason they have in choosing the best life that they want for their child. And I'm just happy that I get to even partner with these families and to provide support, especially because I taught in public school and private school. It really has helped me be more well-rounded in just my knowledge of education, and that it can come in so many different forms. And you know what? As long as the child is learning, that's all I really care about. Big concern with homeschooling is the socialization factor. That is something I stress a lot with my families. Is your child seeing people outside of just your nuclear family? You know, it's such a big part of growing up. Going to public school, so many encounters with different types of friends, different types of people, and just learning how to socialize. That feeling of, oh, someone says something mean to me, how am I gonna handle that? And realize that says more about them than it does about me. That's something that kids have to learn through experience and resilience. A lot of families are involved in church. You can actually use school funds to pay for classes. You can use it for singing lessons, cheer, or jujitsu, or so many different extracurriculars that students can be a part of. Or they are in sports, and in sports is where they are really socializing a lot with their teammates. And then I have families who are in co-ops, so they form their own co-ops. We don't have one for them. They just meet with people in their local area that they know are also homeschooling, and they'll meet up and just have the kids do school together. Now, are they with students less than students in public schools? Yes. So that's something to be mindful of and to be aware of. Yeah, just encouraging our families to get them involved in extracurriculars is helpful. But we do have live classes for our high schoolers. I didn't know this until I started working here, but if you're in high school, you can actually sign up for community college classes for free. So I have a student who's done like 3 classes already at a community college, so he's getting college credit already. So by the time he graduates, he's already gonna have so much college credit. There's also high schoolers who just want to finish quickly. They want to go faster and they want to finish things and they just get it. They can move on and that's fine. So that is what I do as an educational facilitator. We do have a pod, basically a bunch of coworkers that are in my area. We meet up once every other month. So this school is hybrid because we meet once every other month in person and we'll talk, collaborate, and go over some things about our school, state testing, and all of that. I love it so much. I hope that this encourages other people just to know what kind of jobs are out there. I didn't know this job existed until last year. Never heard of it. Never knew it was possible for a teacher to work from home. So I hope this just kind of opens your mind to see that there are so many jobs out there that we may not even be aware of. The classroom experience that I had and the ability to gauge how a student is at a certain age, that has helped me so much doing it virtually, because I remember this is what a kindergartner was like in person. High schoolers is definitely the harder part for me because I didn't work with them as much. They are very independent learners. They can do a lot of these things by themselves without me. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!